Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and you're probably wondering why I gathered you all here on this lovely day. Well, boom. The giant SpeedCube Shop box has arrived. We have another unboxing, the largest unboxing that I have ever done on the channel size-wise, because, you know, look at the size of this box, and also value-wise, because this box can only be filled with some awesome goodies. We got these from SpeedCube Shop. They came in today. I'm really excited to open these up. I got my trusty kindergarten scissors. And while I'm opening this box, which is going to be a little bit hard to do because of the size, I want to ask you guys to consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. And it means a lot to me. Also, if you are ever so inclined, please consider checking out my membership tiers on my main channel page. And as always, go buy your cubes from SpeedCube Shop. They are the best, and that's where you should get your puzzles from. They have great products, great services, very much worth it. I'm struggling to cut this last piece of tape on the side over here. Perfect, we got it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this box down to the floor next to me, and we'll pull out the puzzles one by one, because this is gonna be nuts if I try to keep the box on the desk. It's literally like a 20 by 20 inch box. I don't know, it is actually gigantic. Let's move the camera here down so that you can see the puzzles as they bring them out. Peep the lovely mat from SpeedCube Shop. I love this design. Alright, so there's a lot of things in this box. I got some paper, some more paper, see, paper. Alright, we got a lot of puzzles in here. Let's start with some of the ones that I got just to get. We have the MGC 2x2. That is for collection purposes. It is the only N by N by MGC I do not have. What else do we have? We have a second YJ MGC Square One, as it is only the only good Square One on the market at the moment for the most part. I wanted a second one because I'm getting into Square One, learning how to solve it. So I need that. We have the Diane FTO. I'm a little behind on this. We got this because this is not the first time I've ordered this from somewhere, but the first one never showed up. So SpeedCube Shop coming in clutch. This one showed up, thankfully, and now we have it. What else? We have the 9cm Megaminx from Diane Chang. Very excited to get this. I think the idea of oversized cubes is actually hilarious. We have the limited edition red internal TV4. Very excited to try this out. We have the Diane Chang magnetic master Kilominx. Also excited to get this and add this to my magnetic Minx collection. We have the green clock. Very excited to get this. Hopefully I can get my hands on another one, because I have a buddy who's going to mix the green and the lilac for me, because if you haven't tried that yet, it looks really cool. But we have one for the collection because I have most of the clocks. And the biggest puzzle in this box, we have the magnetic Pedaminx. This thing is huge. This box is huge. So yeah, let's start cracking into all of these cubes, and I'm very excited. I love getting new puzzles. I love doing unboxings. Some of these cubes are for collection purposes. Some of these cubes are because I want to solve them. So let's get the 2x2 open first. We have a little booklet. We got some hardware, extra magnet sets. We love when cube companies do that. I think it's always nice to give us options. Start tossing all these boxes back into the big box. Luckily, that giant box will be very good for storage of the trash, because sometimes, not gonna lie, cube packaging is a bit excessive. Like the MGC 2x2 box, not too bad. The Square One box is like way bigger than it needs to be, though. I can tell you that right now. Sometimes I feel like the packaging is a bit wasteful. So some first turns. All right, yeah, so it definitely just feels like your standard budget 2x2. And again, like I said, I got this for collection purposes. I'll throw the hardware off to the side, and I'll leave the cube right there. Next, let's get into the Square One. I already have one of these, but that being said, like I said, I did want another one in order to use it. So I have a main and a backup. I might keep this one with the white and yellow color scheme. My other one, I have black and yellow. I'm not sure which one I like more yet, but we are going to find out as I test and get better at Square One and learn some stuff. Because right now I'm really slow. So we have, see, like this packaging is nuts because look how big this box is. They put an insert in there and then the cube, and like this could easily fit inside of a way smaller box. Like this is a bit excessive. As somebody who's trying to be environmentally conscious, not quite a fan of the excessive packaging, but that is okay. So here's a hardware kit that comes with your extra pieces and an adjustment tool. So let's crack this open. I'm sure most of you guys all have Square Ones from MGC because again, it is like the most viable Square One on the market. Oh, it's got this brand new matte feeling to it. Feels pretty good out of the box. Of course, I will have to lube it up with my SCS Stardust and Lunar combo, but it's typically what I would feel. Might adjust the tensions a bit. It feels a little bit tighter than my original one came, but yes. Next, yeah, let's just do this. Let's go with the FTO. I'm excited to get this. I do have the Diane Sheng FTO, but word on the street is this one is way better. This is like the only option now, basically. Everybody's popping off making FTOs. So we are going to crack this bad boy open. I kind of dig the silver packaging. Okay, so this is like a box, but which flap opens? The top flap. We'll get the top flap out. There we go. I know most of the boxes are slide top, so okay. So this comes with extra springs. We'll put that over there. I like to label all my baggies and I just toss them into a tote. One day, you know, when we do the cube collection in a couple months here, I will show you guys my hardware tote. It's actually nuts. Let's get this open, and voila. So this is the Diane FTO. Definitely pretty dry out of the box. But yeah, this is supposed to be like the best FTO. I want to learn FTO. Hopefully while I have time this summer, I will. But definitely have to break down some of the finish on this because right now I find it kind of hard to hold and to turn. But yeah, it definitely feels really good. And supposedly it's very, very good to speed solve, so that's cool. I don't know too much about it to like talk about it a lot. I spend a lot of my time on WCA puzzles because there's always so many coming out. It's nice. This unboxing is a lot of the there's a lot of non-WCA stuff. Like there's a good mix. Stuff that I definitely won't use in competition, but wanted to have. I should probably not do that towards myself. Remember, when you're cutting, do not cut towards yourself. That is dangerous. Do as I say and not as I do. Yes, just remember that. So this is what I'm excited to get. These big puzzles I'd like to slowly collect. Again, I find the premise of giant puzzles like actually hilarious. So this is 90. It's 9 centimeters, so it's 90 millimeters because that's how the metric system works. Remember, I'm American. Okay, so it has. Oh no! I bumped the camera. We're going to leave that in there probably. So it has alg sheets. Now I have my own alg sheets, but yeah, so this is like a guide. It's got all the algorithms. They have an English one over here. They do. They have an English one. That being said, I don't need that because like I know how to solve the Megaminx. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This thing is it's huge. And actually, wow, it actually turns really, really good. Okay. So what you're saying is if I lube this up and adjust the tensions, this might actually be like a baller Megaminx. Like I want to do an average of 5 on this. What? This is really good. Why is this so good? Corner cutting? Pretty good. And like it's magnetic too, so it's... Why is this actually like really good? That's kind of funky. All right, this is an unboxing, not a review. We can do a review later. Let's move on. We still got 4 puzzles to go. That Megaminx being as good as it is definitely caught me way off guard. Now for a very nice puzzle. This is the Red TV4. If by the time I upload this, Speedcube Shop still has some left, you should definitely go over and get some. This is a limited edition, so once they are gone, they are gone. Credit card. I have $30,000 in credit card debt. When they call, I tell them I can't pay it back yet. Credit card debt. Anyways, I'm assuming that this comes with your typical TV4 package. This is not the first TV4 that we've opened here on the channel. So we have our blank center cap. We have a towel. We have a screwdriver. And we have this lovely bag. I actually really like the material of these bags. And so yes, they're very, very nice bags. And then, of course, the towel and the blank center cap and the screwdriver. Now, we have this case. And for the cube, all right. Wow, look at that. How does it turn, though? Okay, so a little bit tighter than I'd like out of the box. But it actually feels really good. And I have a funky feeling if I was to drop some Lunar in this right now, it would feel absolutely phenomenal. Something about the way this is turning tells me that like SCS Lunar would feel so good in this cube. Of course, before I would lube it up, I want to go through and make all of my adjustments. I have, you know, all my settings and stuff that I'd want to apply from my other TV4s and see how it goes. But this actually feels pretty solid. And what I like is, you know, this so like, you know, the different color plastic actually changes like how the puzzle turns and feels when it turns, because that's just how plastic works, I guess. I don't really know. But look at this. And it looks so cool. It's actually really cool to see like the magnet adjustment system inside. You can see how it has the gear in there. So when you adjust one side, it'll adjust all of them. And you can see inside the puzzle there. That looks super sick. Let's shove this back in here. Yeah, so this is really nice. And I wanted to get one of these. I have all of the TV4s. I have 2 of the regular ones, the black internals and the red internals now. At least I'm pretty sure that's all of the TV4s, unless another one came out and I don't know about it. All right, we got 3 puzzles left still. Let us push on. Let's get open this Diane Chang magnetic master Kilominx. So, we're throwing things across the room. Not really, just across the desk. Like, I don't know, like 5 inches, relax. It's not that crazy. Okay, so Diane Chang's been popping off with all of these magnetic galaxy cubes. I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, some people might think, you know, it's kind of unnecessary, but you know, it's really not. Like this is the stuff that we want, but we don't know that we want it. And then boom, we have it and we're like, "Oh, we totally wanted this." You know what I'm saying? My question is, does this has the parity algorithm on it? So I actually need to memorize this still. So I'm going to save this and at least write down that parity algorithm. I'm not going to chuck this right away. Let's pop this out of the box. Get that out of here. All right. Wow. Okay, so first, right out of the gate, this feels kind of odd. And that is because it has concave centers. In the middle here is concave, as well as around the outside. You have these lipped edges for grip. It actually feels pretty nice to hold, but it definitely caught me a little off guard. And it feels kind of loose out of the box. That's probably because it has all these internal pieces. So you might have to like actually, I'm gonna have to take some time and set this up and lubricate it. I always lube all of these big Megaminxes and, you know, like the 11x11 and stuff. I find it necessary. You know, like I said in the previous videos, it preserves the lifespan of the puzzle, but also I like when my puzzles feel good, even if it's a puzzle I'm just solving for fun or I don't solve it too often. Every puzzle I have gets lubricated for the most part. But yeah, so I definitely need to set this up before I can like speed solve it. I have a non-magnetic one of these, but I'm very excited to add this to the Minx collection. But let's push on. We have 2 puzzles left now. Let's jump to the clock. We're gonna save the biggest, baddest boy for last, of course. Because that's just how you do it. This clock, I think this clock is gorgeous. I've seen all the pictures online. I haven't seen anybody with it in person yet because it had just gotten to places to start being distributed when I was at the last comp with clock. Just get out of here. I don't really care about the boxes. Look at this. Actually feels tighter than a lot of the other clocks out of the box. That's better. So like when you're doing all, it feels kind of tight. But one pin feels phenomenal. But all the pins definitely feels tight. But it just looks absolutely gorgeous. And apparently, give me 1 second. I'm back. Apparently, yeah, if you mix these two clocks, like you take these apart and you put them together, they go really well together. They're actually gorgeous. And so yeah, I'm hoping to get another one of each of these if I can. Swing it so that my buddy can take these apart for me, because I don't want to mess with the clocks that much. And he's going to mix these for me because they do look absolutely gorgeous. And yes. You know, it's interesting about clock is I'm not too interested in getting like uber fast at clock, but also I think they look awesome. So I get the clocks because they just look great. Very big fan of the colors that they've been coming out with. All right, so let's get the last but the largest puzzle open. This puzzle, oh, I have been drooling over this puzzle since it came out a couple months ago, and I finally was able to get my hands on one. This is the Diansheng Galaxy Pedaminx? Yeah, Pedaminx. Yeah, Pedaminx Magic Cube Magnetic. This thing is a beast. I have the Teraminx and the Gigaminx and the Master Kilominx, and now we have this giant Pedaminx. It comes in the bag. There's no extra room in the box for the bag. Actually, there is though, because like, look at this giant insert. Like they could have made room in the box for the bag. I might actually, you know what? Actually, I'm going to save this box. And the reason why is because all of these cube bags, I have a bunch of them. I actually think I might like having a box to put them in because they just kind of float freely all over the place, and they go all over the place and they fall. They're everywhere. Holy cow. Hey, it's bigger than the 9cm Megaminx. This is absolutely a monster. I mean, look, it fits in one hand, but like barely. If they make any sizes bigger than this, like it's barely gonna fit. Like I'm gonna table this, man. Holy cow. This is definitely gonna get lubricated. It feels like it's definitely got some factory lube in there. And it actually turns pretty well for a puzzle this large with this many pieces. The inners are a little bit catchy, but that'll probably go away with some breaking in. This is a monster. So I definitely know how to solve this and can solve this. I am not doing it right now though. That would be nuts. But yeah, this is a monster of a puzzle. And it feels really good. I'm really excited to have this in my collection. I mean, this is the craziest like puzzle I own. I mean, it's like, it's not that crazy, but like also it's kind of crazy. It's huge. I am excited. So we have finally made it through all of the puzzles that we got today. I'm gonna put them all right here. These 8 puzzles have been added to the collection. I'm excited to mess around with these and set them up. And some of these you may see in future videos. Some of them, like this probably will be, but like this maybe not. I don't know. I might do some solves and post those. I don't really know what I'm going to do yet. I have a bunch of stuff and a bunch of stuff to do, and I am going to have to get down with these cubes and try them all out and set them all up and see what it is. Anyways, that is all of the cubes that I have today in the mail. So, yeah, it's a pretty big haul, I would say. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. We are well on our way to 1,000, and I really appreciate it. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.